Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast. My name is John Shipley. I am your host and beat reporter, and I've been your beat reporter covering the Jacksonville Jaguars every single day for On SI since August 2019, and we are continuing to move forward through another offseason together. As always, you can always find our 24/7, around the clock, 100% free boots on the ground coverage of the Jacksonville Jaguars each and every single day on social media such as Facebook and Twitter at Jaguars on SI. You can also find us at www.si.com/NFL/Jaguars. Welcome to today's episode of the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast. Today we are going to talk about our impressions from our viewing of the Jacksonville Jaguars rookie minicamp Saturday afternoon at the Miller Electric Center. Now, obviously, it felt much more like follow Travis Hunter around day than a typical minicamp, but I did put my eyes on all units. I wanted to make sure that while Travis Hunter is this obvious, gravitational pulling kind of superstar, there are a lot of other rookies out there. I did a one-on-one with Quint Allen that I will be writing about, but it's up on our YouTube. I recommend going and checking that out. Great personality. Seems like a great guy. But first and foremost, obviously, minicamp starts and ends with Travis Hunter. So much like training camp, as you guys know from listening to me in the past, there are some things we can't divulge, specifically when it comes like tactical information. But we can say where Travis Hunter lined up at practice, whether it's offense or defense. And it was 100% offense on Saturday. That I'd say that's, expected. I know we certainly have said on this show that was our expectation heading into the rookie minicamp, that Travis Hunter would see, the vast majority of reps on offense as opposed to defense. Liam Cohen did say that next week Travis Hunter will practice some on defense. He's already starting to get integrated on the defense, on the mental side of the game, in terms of meetings and stuff. And I think it was Travis Hunter himself who made the point that, it's easier to learn defense, or at least the defense, than offense, because obviously a much more complicated offense than, what he was running at Colorado. Specifically, it really seemed like at Colorado that, he's kind of just go out there and let your athleticism take over. A lot of deep shots, a lot of screens, more or less just go be Travis Hunter and be a better athlete than the guy across from you, which 9.9 times out of 10 he was. At the NFL level, of course, wide receiver takes a little bit more nuance. The corners are a lot better. Defensive coordinators are a lot better. The defensive schemes are a lot better. Everybody is simply a lot better at the NFL level, obviously. So it wasn't surprising to see Hunter spend, his technically second practice as a Jaguar, but first from the media point of view, strictly on offense as a wide receiver. We've said on here, we and the Jaguars have straight up said that, he will get the bulk of his work and reps at wide receiver while also playing some on the defensive side. Now, two things right off the bat about Travis Hunter. First is the amount of energy and enthusiasm that this one player inspires is impressive. It's something I haven't seen before covering the franchise. I think Trevor is the closest, but I think Travis is kind of in his own sphere so far in that regard. Over 2,000 fans were at the practice. Every time Travis Hunter caught a pass, every time he ran a route, every time he danced, they just went absolutely ballistic. And it is very clear that he is already undoubtedly the kind of superstar on and off the field that the Jaguars can kind of build around, promote as their image. Like, he is one of the guys when it comes to Jaguars. It's him, it's Trevor, it's Josh Allen, it's Trayvon Walker, and of course it's Brian Thomas. To me, those are the five. And I've said before, I think outside of like a group of like 7 to 10 guys, everybody's fighting for a spot. And those obviously are the guys that lead the charge in terms of they're locked in. Now, from what I saw of Travis in terms of practice. Obviously, a little raw. I think that's to be expected, or at the very least, it should be. This isn't a guy who was spending all of his time and focus on offense at Colorado. He's never really had a chance to just simply develop solely as a wide receiver. He's not going to be developing solely as a wide receiver in the NFL either, but he will be getting a lot more work there. And I think it's understandable why. There's just simply a lot to show him about the position. But the one thing that stood out to me was each time there was a drill where he had a rep that I guess he didn't deem as good enough, he simply went right back to the front of the line and did the drill again and would do it again until he got it right. And stuff I've heard from people, inside the building on him is in terms of who he is as a person. They say the work ethic and maturity are stratospheric. They are absolutely off the charts. And that's what I think that I saw from him, on Saturday. Aside from that, the ball skills are obvious. The athleticism, the way he's able to accelerate and decelerate, there is nobody else on that field that could hang with him athletically. You can see it in shorts and helmets. And I think he will produce simply because of that, because he is a rare breed of athlete, that there are not many teams or defenses that can contain a guy who is simply that athletic. I think there are just simple ways to scheme and get the ball in his hands to let him take advantage of that athleticism. Now, in terms of what else I saw, I think special teams drills are super, super important during the offseason, during training camp. I've said before, the depth guys of the roster, the backups, etc., guys maybe on the bubble, who you see starting on the special teams units during camp and during preseason, those guys are making the roster. Special teams is how you make the roster if you are not a locked-in starter. Frankly, that's a big reason why Gabe Davis isn't there anymore, because he wouldn't have offered any special teams value. And in terms of special teams value, I think Ray on Lane from Navy is going to be spectacular. He was by far the best in every special team drill I saw. He is an absolute demon in terms of his speed as a gunner, his energy, his tenaciousness. I'd even say violence on special teams, even without pads, was very clear. Some other things, I thought Wyatt Milam certainly looks the part. He's a big guy. Certainly looks like he will be able to handle, duties at guard. I'd expect him to definitely compete for that left guard spot with Ezra Cleveland. I'm not ready to name a favorite necessarily, but I do think Wyatt Milam physically is pretty impressive. Jack Kaiser looked more athletic than I honestly probably give credit for. He's somebody who, I kind of profiled in terms of the player, archetype, and just thought, pure run guy, etc. Not a lot of range. He looked fairly athletic. J.J. Jones from North Carolina, I was really impressed by him. He's a really big guy, 6'3", I believe 210 pounds. He carries it well, but it's clear, he's just a giant target. And they don't have many of those in their room right now. Doesn't have the movement skills and the explosiveness of some of the other undrafted guys, but simply made catch after catch. And I was really impressed by the overall package of what he brought to the table. Lastly, running backs caught a lot of passes on Saturday. I thought out of the three rookie running backs, LaQuint Allen looked the smoothest out of the backfield. Really, really good hands, just awareness as a pass catcher, good routes. He just simply looks seamless, as a pass catcher coming out of the backfield. And if he can also pass protect when the pads come on in training camp and in the preseason, that is how he earns, snaps and reps on the field moving forward. So those are my biggest impressions from Jaguars rookie minicamp. Of course, we will be back later this offseason for OTAs, minicamp, etc., stuff like that. Please make sure that you are following along with us. Make sure you find all of our coverage in terms of highlights, exclusive interviews, videos of press conferences at our YouTube page at Sports Videos on SI. And please make sure that you download the Jacksonville Jaguars Insider Podcast on Apple and Spotify. go ahead and leave us a review and let us know what you think. As always, thank you guys. Be back next time.